Yep, it is indeed a nice day.
Oh, I can feel everything like breathing. You know what I mean? All the nature, everything's happy because of the sun. And without the sun, why would everything be miserable or less happy when the sun is out than when it's not out? Because what's in us that makes us live or even worthy to create or think of good ideas that make us feel good of what we, kind of emanate from or get our energy from, it's just the source of that, but it has so much information. Like I said, how everything has information. Every individual soul has it, but that's when we look at everything, we just associate with everything like that, like in this merge. So it's just that energy or type of energy. It's that tree is like that. But in each facet, there's different information. So at the same time, you can't really judge on that fashion, but you know the energetic signature of certain things if it incarnate. Like we can, like certain animals have certain abilities. Like a gecko can like move its eye like that. Now, that's an energetic information that it's in its subconscious when it went into that as what it wanted to be. But it's the form of the information of what it wanted to be. So that we choose this, but in a sort of sense that it's not like we're gonna totally know 100% sure what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So in a way, we try to blame it on ourselves or blame it on other people, but really, it's all the fashion of what we'd go into. So we have to choose to be somewhere, right? So it's not a mistake. It's part of when you go buy groceries because you need to eat. You eventually you'd stop deciding what there is to eat and go pick something because you're hungry enough to eat it, right? So that's why the universe keeps moving on, because if everything was up for debate, would anything exist or be functioning? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I told you guys. But the thing is, all this information, upon that year of doing it, I can reflect back and use, bits and pieces of what I uncovered, you know what I mean? And that was all part of the journey, but man, I really wish, it's still on there. It's still on, they don't fully delete it, it's still in the archives, so maybe it will be looked at, say, a long time ago if they find value in what I was trying to do and what the biggest point I was trying to prove. Because that's why I feel like this little point, even though in my existence it takes, this much long to live, just say, per se, it doesn't mean I'm gonna ever, die, after this point of knowing what I know, but I'm going to die or move on sometime. I know that it's not gonna be forever that I am staying on planet Earth or living in this vessel as what I am, but you just got to realize that what I was trying to get to now I kind of lost track of because I was trying to focus on that, but then see the explanation of them little things. I try to want to explain everything to people, try to do my best, but then the little explanations gets me off topic for what I really need to focus on and get across. That was between proving my point, because it takes so long from an incarnate, even on this amount of time, it seems like it's almost impossible to prove that one point, is what I'm trying to say. So it's going to take everything I got of what I'm trying to do to lay that down so people could figure it out, like it would be possible. And the thing is, it would be quicker as soon as they get triggerations inside their own selves to know what I'm talking about. Because then they relate, and then it is happening. It is happening right now, I know it is. But, it didn't seem like a lot knew me or known what I was doing, but I do think that they were aware of some things I did. But it's just like them some things that they're so at awe about, I'd rather see the real deep meaning in the stuff that I really want them to know. That's why in certain, degrees, when I look back at my information on my USB, I wanted to take out certain things that were more important first. You know what I mean? Because that's what I really need to leave behind, rather than some inconvenient moment that didn't hold a lot of super awakening type triggeration, because I can determine what level, and each time that I noticed on a later version of what I would say, but I could say it more in refined version now, but I could still see the awareness in my eyes when I was experiencing that, and that was information for me to look back at. See how that works though? That's why you got to keep your stuff safe. And you know what I mean? If it takes more money to get more SD cards and save up, well, it's gonna take that, especially when you're moving on. It's just like I don't want to keep on jetting forward and not save some things, because that's how everything gets discombobbled. We gotta like orchestrate this, and it takes time in each little fashion of what we do, no matter if it's on the physical or just the stuff we need to get done for saving information or anything. Just like it all takes time, but we got so much easily to transform this. We got so much people here. It takes so little time if everybody was in on it. You know what I mean? And that's a real reality of how fast things can progress in certain areas. As soon as, because they have them programs out there, growing certain things and stuff, but as soon as everybody is really like feeling the struggle of what's happening on this world, maybe they will feed into that more and more, because it'd be just the last resort type thing before, you know what I mean? People have to be aware of what's happening here, and I am, and it kind of is not as fun as I thought it to be, because there's so much people just don't know exactly. When I'm talking about these things, they don't really pay attention to it like I do. They hold so much their individual belief that they take their bits and pieces that they like, and they hold on to that because it's such a chaotic world. You know what I mean? And the thing is that they meld with certain things because it's hard to hold on in such a fast pace where they want to go here and there, and they're so torn between that, they have little to work with or little to absorb. That's why when you give yourself the space and the time, you can absorb a lot more. You know what I mean? If you're constantly too busy doing the same repetitious things, but if it's not getting you anywhere, but if it is, it's worth it. Like, I'm gonna be working, and I worked 3 days now, and I made $250. But anyway, yeah, I hope work just picks up, and I'll work. I mean, it doesn't faze me anymore. I just really didn't care to do it, but I can do it. It's not like I can't. That's what people worry about me. Like, they start thinking I don't like to work anymore now and everything like this. And I remember just a year ago, everybody was like, yeah, he's such a good worker. No, he's so good. But, see how just by my will, how people change around me and then treat me differently? But it's so judgmental. It's like, don't you remember you treated me like this and like that when I could do this? And I still can do that, but I choose to do this. And like, they get so uncomfortable with the change, and it's just like, it's the weight on me, because the fact of the matter is I'm causing that karmic energetic response, but at the same time they have to integrate through what I'm changing into, and then I have to, it's basically the universe's job to partly do half the work, and when you go through life, you're basically doing half the work of what's going on, of whatever you want into, that is, and then other people, but so basically it could be energetic flow in the air, just anything, people, time, certain times in certain areas, the configuration, like, deja vu and all